So we had quite a time keeping hay, meat for the flocks. We couldn't buy commercial feed for them, but my God, that was too expensive. So we just, whenever we heard of somebody's horse dying or something like that, we went and picked up as much meat as we could dare take that would keep until we used it up. But that was an adventure too. We still got the meat grinder. I know, still got the meat grinder. And it's cut up many beef, it's cut up many deer and what have you. Another big venture in 1929 was the fact that us boys got a chance to play for the firemen's stands in Cooperstown. Boy, that was the highlight of a person's life, was to be able to play for the firemen's dance. That was the dance of the year in Cooperstown, and for us, it has been for many years. So these people that I mentioned prior now, we all got together and practiced, and we played for the New Year's dance. That was really something that we could play for the firemen's dance, New Year's Eve. 1930, Samuel Knudsen and I attended a citizens military training camp at Fort Lincoln in Bismarck, North Dakota, from the 15th of June until the 15th of July, completing the basic and red course. There were 3 courses: the basic, red, white, and blue. So after we'd been in camp for about 20 days, something like that, while they asked us, the whole bunch, if they wanted to take an examination for the next higher course. Samuel and I, we decided, rather than to go out and march in the parade ground in the hot sun, we'd take this examination. By golly, we passed. The only question they asked me was, they asked me what the position of a soldier at attention. And rather than to start at the feet and work up, I started at the head and worked down, but they passed me. So when you give us a position of a soldier at attention, you start at the feet and work up. But I had it all in there. I didn't have any problem with that. But prior to that, in the spring of 1930, my uncle bought a Fordson tractor. And gosh, to be able to drive a tractor in 1930 was about like getting a chance to fly a airliner nowadays. And my uncle came down and was wondering with my dad if it's possible to get Art to come and drive this tractor. God, I was hoping my dad would say yes. But boy, that was really something to get permission to drive a tractor. But he said, I haven't got any money. You'll have to. He said he was wondering with my dad if I could drive the tractor and then go up in Stony, that quarter that was mentioned previously. Asked him if I could. He asked if I could put in 40 acres of barley up there. My dad, you see how was that now? My dad bought the barley and I had to buy the gasoline. And we bought gasoline in 55-gallon drums in those days. So the gasoline man came out there with 2 55-gallon drums of gasoline and a change of oil. I plowed those 40 acres and harrowed them, and my uncle seeded them. Oh, that was a big darn deal, boy, that I was going to go out. I was going to make money hand over fist. So by the time I got ready to go to that camp, the grain was already coming up. And this incidentally took my earnings, my wife's savings to buy this gasoline. The savings account, and it took all the money that I had to take care of the savings account, or to buy the gasoline for this field.
and I did omit on the other tape that I rode that tractor until I was so filled up with dust and dirt that I had to go to the Northwood Hospital. Dr. Savory was my doctor, and we had to go. I had to go there and get rid of bronchitis. So I was in the Northwood Hospital a week. The doctor bill and the hospital bill was $64. That took care of the 7 days in the hospital and the doctor, $64. And they turned me loose 2 days before I was scheduled to go to Bismarck, and I weighed less than 100 pounds when I went. My dad took us to Bismarck that time. So that just one of the highlights was the beginning of my military career.
So I just we went to camp, and when we got back, while we were down there, my mother called up, or she wrote to me and said that Pa and Anton is up on Stony putting up your barley for hay. Well, I could see that there wasn't going to be much. That stack of dollar bills that I thought I was going to get had shrunk quite a bit. But I still thought there was going to be quite a bit of hay. So by golly, we just monkeyed around and got through at the camp and got back right, and I had to go up, take a bicycle and go up and look at all these haystacks I had. There wasn't enough. I didn't have enough hay there on those 40 acres to make one load of hay on an ordinary. Now we're at the beginning of the second tape. We're try to mention that too, so we don't get them all mixed up. The year is 1930. Well, when we had the North Dakota capsule burnt down in the winter of 1930, I took my accordion along to camp. I was quite I took advantage of anything that pertained to music in those days. And I won the prize in music down there. They had various prizes in various things, dramatics and various other entertainment. And I got the prize for music that in the camp that summer. While we were getting back to this tractor, I wouldn't give up. I wasn't very big in 1930. So I was getting bronchitis, and I got pretty darn bad. Finally wound up that I had to give up driving the tractor. My dad took me to Norfolk to the hospital, and it was a long drawn out affair, to try to get well after getting it filled up with dust and dirt, catching bronchitis and what have you. I remember I was in the hospital for a week. My doctor was Dr. Savory. And the hospital bill and the doctor bill was $62. And that $62 in those days was probably harder to find than $6,500 is now. But when I got out of the hospital, I weighed less than 100 pounds. So when I went to camp, there at Bismarck, I was just under 100 pounds, and in the 30 days that I was there, I gained 15 pounds. So I weighed 115 pounds when I got back out again. So I had an experience there too when I'd never been in the military. How could I be in the military? I wasn't too old. Although I was 21, I guess.